The 20th century witnessed the devastating impact of two world wars. These conflicts reshaped the global order. Millions perished, nations were shattered. The horrors of these conflicts continue to haunt us. The possibility of a third world war, once unthinkable, now casts a shadow over our time. The rise of global tensions, fueled by political instability and technological advancements, has reignited old fears. The world watches with a mixture of anxiety and uncertainty. The memories of past conflicts serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of war. We are reminded of the millions who perished and the countless lives forever altered. The world must confront the possibility of a future defined by conflict. We must understand the factors that could lead us down this dangerous path. The global landscape is fraught with tension. Regional conflicts simmer. The competition for resources intensifies. The threat of terrorism looms. These factors create a volatile mix. They have the potential to escalate into a wider conflict. It's crucial to acknowledge the potential for miscalculation or unforeseen events. These can quickly spiral out of control. The world is interconnected. A regional conflict can quickly draw in other nations. Alliances and treaties can act as tripwires. What begins as a localized conflict can rapidly escalate into a global crisis. The potential for a third world war, though frightening, is a reality we must confront. Understanding the risks is the first step in preventing such a catastrophe. World War III. These three words evoke fear and uncertainty, but what exactly constitutes a world war? It is a conflict of unprecedented scale. It involves multiple major powers. It spans multiple continents. Such a war would be characterized by its global reach and catastrophic consequences. It would be a conflict unlike any other, fought on a scale that defies comprehension. The devastation of the two world wars provides a chilling blueprint. Millions of lives were lost. Entire cities were reduced to rubble. The economic and social fabric of nations was torn apart. World War III, with its potential for advanced weaponry and technology, could be far more destructive. The consequences would be felt for generations. Today's world is different. We have international organizations like the United Nations. Their purpose is to prevent conflict and foster cooperation, but the complexities of the 21st century present new challenges. The rise of non-state actors, the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and the interconnectedness of the global economy create a volatile landscape. Defining World War III is not just about geographical scope. It's about understanding the nature of modern warfare. Cyberwarfare, for instance, can cripple nations without a single shot being fired. The use of chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons would have devastating consequences for humanity. This is not merely a hypothetical scenario. It is a stark reality we must confront. The stakes have never been higher. The potential consequences of a global conflict are almost unimaginable. The loss of life would be staggering. The environmental damage would be catastrophic. The global economy would collapse. The world as we know it would cease to exist. The development and proliferation of nuclear weapons have introduced an unprecedented element of risk. A nuclear war would have global consequences, potentially leading to a nuclear winter. The radioactive fallout would contaminate the environment and threaten the future of humanity. This is not science fiction. It is a grim reality. But beyond the immediate devastation, there is the long-term impact. The social, economic, and political ramifications of a global conflict would be felt for generations. The breakdown of international order, the rise of extremism, and the displacement of millions would create a world scarred by conflict. Despite the daunting possibilities, it is crucial to remember that war is not inevitable. We have the power to choose a different path by understanding the risks, by fostering dialogue, and by seeking peaceful solutions to conflict. We can avert disaster. The future of humanity depends on it. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that the shadow of war does not engulf the world. The guns fell silent on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. The Great War had ended, but the world was forever changed. Millions lay dead and the old world order lay in ruins. The Treaty of Versailles sowed the seeds of future conflict. The League of Nations proved ineffective against rising nationalism. The seeds of future conflict had been sown. A world divided. The aftermath and rise of new ideologies. The aftermath of World War I saw the rise of new ideologies that would shape the course of the 20th century. Communism, born out of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, promised equality and an end to class struggle. In Germany and Italy, fascism, fueled by economic hardship and national humiliation, offered a seductive message of strength and order. These competing ideologies created new divisions and fueled existing tensions on the world stage. The global economy, shattered by war, struggled to recover. The Great Depression of the 1930s brought widespread unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. This created fertile ground for extremist movements to flourish, further destabilizing the international order. The world was adrift, searching for answers in a time of unprecedented uncertainty. The League of Nations, weakened by its own internal divisions and the lack of commitment from major powers, proved incapable of addressing the growing crisis. The principle of collective security, intended to deter aggression through international cooperation, was failing. The world watched as one by one the tenets of the Treaty of Versailles were broken with little consequence. The failure of the international community to address the root causes of conflict, economic inequality, political instability, and unresolved historical grievances created a climate of impunity. Aggressor nations, emboldened by the lack of a coordinated response, felt empowered to pursue their expansionist ambitions. The world was sliding towards another global conflict, and this time the stakes were even higher. The seeds of conflict, unresolved tensions, and appeasement. The 1930s witnessed crises leading to World War II. Japan invaded Manchuria in 1931. Hitler reoccupied the Rhineland in 1936. Western appeasement emboldened aggressors. The Munich Agreement of 1938 failed. It only emboldened Hitler. The Spanish Civil War foreshadowed World War II. Germany and Italy supported Franco. The Western powers were unprepared. They failed to learn from World War I. Diplomacy and appeasement were miscalculations. Hitler invaded Poland in 1939. The reckoning, World War II, and the price of inaction. World War II was a conflict of unprecedented scale and brutality. It engulfed the globe, drawing in over 30 countries and resulting in millions of fatalities. The war saw the use of new and devastating weapons, including the atomic bomb. The Holocaust remains a chilling reminder of human depravity. The war had a profound impact on history. It led to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The conflict also gave rise to the United Nations. The world forever changed, was determined to prevent another catastrophe. The lessons of World War II are as relevant today as they were then. Flashpoints where the next world war could begin. The world today is a tapestry of interconnected crises and simmering conflicts. Regional disputes often ignite wider conflict. These flashpoints are powder kegs waiting for a spark. The South China Sea is a major flashpoint. Vital shipping lanes and resources heighten tensions. The Middle East remains volatile. Syrian civil war and extremist groups create instability. The Korean Peninsula is a Cold War legacy. North and South Korea's standoff is dangerous. Any provocation could trigger a conflict. These flashpoints show the fragility of peace. The world hopes for diplomacy and restraint. The Dragon's Rise. China's growing assertiveness. China's rise as an economic and military power has reshaped the geopolitical landscape, creating both opportunities and anxieties. Its assertiveness is evident in the South China Sea, where it has constructed artificial islands and established military outposts. China's Belt and Road Initiative has raised concerns about debt-trap diplomacy and geopolitical influence. The world watches with hope and apprehension, eager to see China's role in the international system. The bear awakens Russia's resurgence and expansionism. Russia, under Vladimir Putin, has reasserted itself as a major power, seeking to reclaim its former glory. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 and its military intervention in Syria are prime examples of Russia's assertive foreign policy. Or domestically, Putin has restored national pride by appealing to Russian nationalism. Internationally, Russia challenges US hegemonic ambitions and reasserts its influence in former Soviet republics. Russia's actions have been met with condemnation and sanctions from the West. Its nuclear arsenal and military force make it a formidable adversary. Russia's resurgence has injected uncertainty and risk into the international system. Tensions with the West have increased, destabilizing neighboring countries. The world watches nervously, hoping for dialogue and diplomacy to prevail. Section 4. The Proliferation Predicament, Weapons of Mass Destruction. The spectre of nuclear war has returned with renewed urgency. The proliferation of WMDs, including nuclear, chemical and biological weapons, poses an existential threat to humanity. Countries like North Korea and Iran pursue nuclear weapons programs for security and prestige. The potential consequences of a nuclear attack are too horrific to contemplate. The use of chemical weapons in Syria highlights the barbarity of these weapons. Biological weapons pose a unique and potentially devastating threat. The ease of producing biological weapons and their potential for rapid spread make them a nightmare scenario. The proliferation of WMDs requires a concerted effort by the international community. Strengthening non-proliferation regimes and securing loose nuclear materials is essential. The world cannot afford to wait for another tragedy before taking decisive action. The stakes are simply too high. Section 1. The Digital Battlefield, Cyberwarfare and the Future of Conflict. The digital realm has emerged as a new battleground for modern conflict. Cyberwarfare uses digital tools to disrupt or destroy an adversary's critical infrastructure. Cyber attacks can achieve strategic objectives without conventional military force. The anonymity and low cost of cyberwarfare make it attractive for states and non-state actors. The Stuxnet virus demonstrated the potential of cyber warfare to cripple critical infrastructure. The interconnected digital world means no nation is immune to cyber attacks. Cyber warfare poses a unique challenge to international peace and security. The lack of clear norms and rules governing cyberspace makes it dangerous. The world must develop international norms for cyberspace and enhance cyber defenses. Failure to do so risks a future where the digital realm becomes a lawless battleground. Section 2. The rise of the machines, autonomous weapons, and the erosion of control. Advancements in AI and robotics are ushering in a new era of warfare with autonomous weapons. These weapons can select, and engage targets without human intervention. Critics warn of an ethical and strategic quagmire with machines making life-or-death decisions. Machines lack the judgment and empathy necessary for such decisions. The development of autonomous weapons raises concerns about accountability. The international community is grappling with the implications of these weapons. Calls for a preemptive ban on autonomous weapons are growing. The debate over autonomous weapons is a fundamental question about the future of warfare. Human judgment and control must remain at the heart of any future conflict. The threat of nuclear war has returned with renewed urgency. The proliferation of nuclear weapons and technologies has created a climate of fear. Countries like North Korea and Iran pursue nuclear weapons programs for security and prestige. The potential consequences of a nuclear attack are too horrific to contemplate. A single nuclear detonation can level a city and leave a legacy of radioactive contamination. A nuclear war would have catastrophic global consequences, including a nuclear winter. The international community must work together to prevent nuclear proliferation, strengthening non-proliferation regimes, and securing loose nuclear materials is essential. The future of humanity depends on preventing the unthinkable from becoming reality. The nature of warfare has transformed, moving away from traditional state-on-state conflict. Asymmetric warfare exploits unconventional tactics to level the playing field against powerful adversaries. Terrorist groups use surprise, mobility, and violence to sow terror and undermine public confidence. Insurgencies seek to overthrow governments through guerrilla warfare and propaganda. Hybrid warfare combines conventional military force with cyber attacks and disinformation. Asymmetric warfare poses significant challenges for traditional militaries. It requires a shift in mindset toward intelligence gathering and counterinsurgency operations. Asymmetric warfare will remain a defining feature of 21st century conflict. States must adapt their military doctrines and invest in new technologies to counter these threats. For decades, the United States has been the world's preeminent military power. The American century reflected the country's dominant position in shaping the international order. Recent years have seen a growing debate about the future of American power. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan raised questions about the limits of American power. The rise of China and the resurgence of Russia have challenged U.S. dominance. Despite these challenges, the United States remains a formidable military power. NATO and alliances in the Asia-Pacific region provide strategic depth and support. The Trump administration's America First policy strained relationships with key allies. The Biden administration has sought to repair these relationships. The future of these alliances is not guaranteed. Section 2. The Russian bears nuclear clause a resurgent threat. Russia, under Vladimir Putin, has emerged as a resurgent power. Its military capabilities, particularly its nuclear arsenal, make it a force to be reckoned with. Putin has invested heavily in new weapons systems and military modernization. Russia's nuclear arsenal remains a cornerstone of its military strategy. Putin has shown a willingness to use military might to achieve strategic objectives. The annexation of Crimea and intervention in Syria demonstrate Russia's assertiveness. Russia's resurgence poses a significant challenge to the post-Cold War order. The world watches nervously as Russia flexes its muscles on the world stage. Section 3. The Dragon's Shadow, China's growing military might. China's economic rise has transformed it into a global powerhouse. This has been matched by a significant military build-up. The PLA is modernizing rapidly, investing in new technologies. China's military aims to secure its interests in the Asia-Pacific. Its actions in the South China Sea raise regional concerns. The world watches as China's military might grows. The international system today is a complex web of alliances and partnerships, some forged in past conflicts, others driven by shared interests. Alliances can stabilize or destabilize with shifting loyalties and interests. The rise of China and Russia challenges traditional structures. Countries hedge their bets, maintaining relations with multiple powers. New security challenges like cyberwarfare and climate change require collective action. The shifting sands of international relations create both opportunities and challenges. The preceding chapters have painted a stark and sobering picture of the forces pushing the world towards the brink. Yet, amidst the anxieties and uncertainties, a flicker of hope persists. Confronting the possibility of World War III is a crucial first step in averting catastrophe. Understanding conflict dynamics helps build a framework for lasting peace. Preventing World War III demands addressing conflict causes, strengthening institutions, and fostering diplomacy. Peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice, equality, and opportunity for all. In an age of hypersonic missiles, cyber warfare, and artificial intelligence, it is easy to overlook the enduring power of diplomacy. Yet dialogue remains our most potent weapon against war. Through diplomacy, we can bridge divides and find peaceful solutions. Diplomacy is not about appeasement or weakness. It is about recognizing our shared humanity and standing firm. Seeking common ground and keeping communication open is crucial. The Cold War reminds us of diplomacy's importance in preventing conflict. Today, these lessons are more relevant than ever. Open communication and cooperation are essential to managing tensions. The world is interconnected, presenting both challenges and opportunities. By recognizing our shared humanity, we can build a peaceful future. The path to World War III is not preordained. The future remains unwritten. Our choices today will determine human history. Fear and mistrust lead to dire consequences. Hope, cooperation, and dialogue build a brighter future. This is a call to action for peace and understanding. We are all citizens of a shared planet. Let us choose wisely. Let us choose peace. The future of humanity depends on it.